In the video today, we are answering a viewer question because Julia G asks us, why do gas stations set their prices ending at 9/10 of a cent, but nothing else is priced that way? Alright, so the practice of pricing fuel with a fraction of a penny is thought to have started around the 1930s. While we can't be sure who was the first to price fuel this way, it seems to have become relatively commonplace across the United States all of a sudden at around the same time. So what happens? Well, in short, the answer is taxes and the Great Depression. The United States Congress first implemented a 1-cent gas tax in 1932 as a temporary measure, putting that money towards reducing deficits acquired during the Great Depression. The tax was supposed to expire in 1934, but as so often happens, Congress voted to extend the tax and raise it by half a cent instead, and the tax now sat at 1.5 cents per gallon of gas. Around the same time, gas station owners began breaking down the price of a gallon of gas by fractions of a cent, leading to the generally accepted hypothesis that it was the fraction of a cent tax that resulted in gas station owners almost universally beginning to price their gas in this way. While a fraction of a cent is decidedly inconsequential today, at least as far as an individual consumer is concerned, when this practice began, gas cost around 10 cents per gallon, around $1.75 today, so the change of the price by even a fraction of a cent was significant in terms of getting people to come to your fuel station instead of a competitor's. Rounding up or down by a full cent, which would be about an 18-cent swing per gallon in today's money, also greatly affected the bottom line of the particular fuel station. Today, federal gas taxes continue to add up to fractions of a penny. For instance, as of the writing of this script, the federal gas tax is 18.4 cents per gallon, while the average state gas tax is 33.78 cents per gallon. But given that a difference of a penny per gallon isn't going to greatly affect the ultimate price of refueling your vehicle, you might be wondering why fuel station owners don't simply round up or round down on the price of a gallon of fuel today. As for the rounding down, while it's insignificant to that individual consumer, that 9/10 of a penny per gallon does add up to quite a bit in the grand scheme of things, which is particularly significant as many fuel stations make very little off the fuel itself, sometimes even just a few cents per gallon. Indeed, most of their profits come from the convenience side store of the business. Offering fuel is simply a way to get people in the door. As for how much that 9/10 of a cent per gallon adds up to, in 2014, the fuel industry as a whole in the United States brought home an additional $1.2 billion with that 9/10 of a penny, rather than just if they'd rounded down to the nearest cent. As to why they don't round up, the answer, of course, it lies in marketing. As silly as it seems when you stop and think about it for a second, that fraction of a penny does make a measurable difference in consumer behavior. Pricing gas by the 9/10 of a cent works a lot like when stores sell items with prices ending in 99. Shoppers place much greater emphasis on the first number in a price and tend to ignore the less significant digits. So a price tag of $4.99 ends up seeming a lot cheaper than $5. As an example of this, Professor Robert Schindler of Rutgers University in 1996 helped a clothing company increase sales by 8% pretty much overnight, simply by changing all their whole dollar amount items to ones that ended in 99 cents. In yet another case, a study in France recently noted that when one company lowered the price of pizza from €8 to €7.99, that pizza increased its sales by 15%. In the same way, when fueling up, customers only typically pay attention to the first 3 digits of the price. A price of $2.29 and 9/10 gives the individual the impression that they are only paying $2.29 per gallon when they are essentially paying $2.30. Two insignificantly different prices that nonetheless would make a world of difference when a customer is picking a gas station to fuel up at. And I might just note here that these prices of gas, or as we call it in the UK and Europe, petrol, are insane. Like $2.29 a gallon? What the f***? In the end, each one of those 9/10 of a cent per gallon gets tallied up with the ultimate result, often including a fraction of a penny. While you might be tempted to think that in these circumstances that total will always round up to the nearest cent, according to the executive director of the National Conference of Weights and Measures, Don Onweiler, this isn't the case, and his inspectors have never come across a gas pump that always rounds up. As he stated, the dispensers will always round to the nearest whole cent. In some cases, that means rounding up. In some cases, it means rounding down. And now for a bonus fact. Fascinatingly, and illustrating the power of ending a price with a 9, Dr. Eric Anderson of Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management noted that in our study involving the women's clothing catalog, we were able to increase demand by a third by raising the price of a dress from $34 to $39. By comparison, changing the price from $34 to $44 yielded no difference in demand. As to why this works, it's generally theorized that people associate a price ending in 9 with items that are on sale, and well, we've just got our monkey brains to blame for falling for this one. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, why not, hit the bell, all of that good stuff. Also, why not check out my other channel, it's called Biographics, I'm going to link to that below. And as always, thank you for watching.